Hello YouTube, how's everyone? This is Champion2D Rob back again. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since my last video. I did take my time. I guess it was partly on purpose. Didn't really feel like making a video, I'll be honest. But you know, I have been watching, of course. I have been very active in terms of watching YouTube and stuff, but lately I haven't really been in the mind to sort of make videos. Just being caught up doing other stuff, you know, life stuff. Work has really sort of taken up my time, as well as other things as well. So there's not really been a lot of time to sort of sit down and make content. And of course at the same time, you know, like, I don't want to make content for the sake of making content. It really ought to be when I genuinely feel like making a video. Unfortunately, this is one of those times. I've got some time off work, so I thought I'd make a few videos, especially since my pickups, the stuff I've bought recently in the last few months, has been building up. In fact, I've probably got enough here for, well, I do have enough for 2 pickups. Which is what I'm going to do essentially. But before I get into the sort of stuff that I've bought, I'll let you know what essentially I've been getting into lately in terms of gaming. And what I actually have been getting into a lot of, I won't be showing it in this video, I'll be saving that for the next video. But lately I have been jumping into the world of imports. Yeah, I recently picked up a multi-region PlayStation 2. And since I've had that system, I've just sort of gone all out and gone after essentially all the fighters, all the 2D fighters that were exclusive to Japan, stuff that never came out in the UK, and also gone after a few games that also came out in the US as well. So that's really what I've been going after, as well as a few also PlayStation 1 games as well. Just a few Japanese exclusive titles that I've been going after, and it's been great. I love sort of being able to dip into the world of import gaming, and it's been fantastic. I've really been enjoying it. Some might say, you know, Rob, you know, why PlayStation 2? Why did you not get an import or a multi-region Dreamcast or a Saturn? You know, and to be honest, guys, I've not actually ruled that out. That's a possibility. I might even consider it down the line, especially Saturn. I'm thinking about getting a multi-region Saturn, so I might dabble in that. That's still something I'm toying with the idea. But the reason why I'm jumping into PlayStation 2 multi-region is because I already have a massive library of PlayStation 2 titles. And for me, just getting a multi-region system doesn't take up any extra room. I just simply replace my current system with the multi-region version, and it sits in its place and it plays games from all regions. So it's not really taking up any extra space, whereas if I get a Saturn or a Dreamcast, that's more space that needs to be filled, and I don't really have a lot of space essentially. So this is why for me this seemed like the logical step, especially also given the fact that there are a lot of games, a lot of ports that were eventually released on the PlayStation 2 as collections. So you will get to see that in probably the next video. The next pickup video I do is going to be import exclusive. I'm still waiting on a few games to arrive, so I'm sort of holding off on that. But also I have actually been buying quite a few games, quite a few hardware as well, some hardware stuff as well. So I've got a lot of great stuff here to show you guys. I'm really excited about the stuff I have here. Some really cool stuff, and even one charity shop find which I was actually really chuffed to get. So anyway, before I get into any of that stuff, there were 2 pickups that I want to sort of highlight at the very start, and these 2 pickups were thanks to 2 YouTubers. The first person I want to bring up is someone who is someone I'm subscribed to. I watch all the time, and is also someone that I also take part. I communicate with via Twitter. Which, by the way, guys, on a side note, shameless plug here, I'm actually on Twitter, guys. Just basically check me out. It's at Champion2D Rob. Yeah, you know, find me on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter actually. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, check me out. That's at Champion2D Rob. But anyway, shameless plug aside. Yeah, essentially there was a YouTuber who goes by the name of 16-Bit Luke, and he's been a great pal, great friend of mine, great YouTube friend of mine. Not someone I've had the pleasure of meeting in person just yet, although that will change at some point soon. But yeah, someone who I do speak to or communicate with via Twitter on occasion, and he basically did me a fantastic favour. Really sorted me out, and I'm really chuffed. And essentially what it was, he helped me basically get a hold of the Super Nintendo Mini. Really chuffed. Essentially what happened was I missed out on the pre-orders. I completely missed out. I wasn't following it. And Luke just so happened, he announced on Twitter that he'd actually had 2 pre-orders. The reason why he pre-ordered two systems was just in case one of the pre-orders fell through. And I just sort of, you know, mentioned that if he was going to get rid of his second pre-order, that when it come through, I'd be happy to take it off his hands. And this was a good couple of months, a good 2 or 3 months or 4 months maybe prior to the system even being released. And you know, true to his word, he was like, yeah, you know what, mate, it's yours. If it comes through, you can have it, mate. And sure enough, mate, it came through, and I inquired about it, and he was like, yeah, I've got it, mate, do you want it? And I said, yeah, I'll have it. And he sold it to me at cost, so I didn't have to pay any more for it. Although I did actually choose to give him a little bit of something extra. I don't want to say why, that's his business, but I felt like I wanted to give him something a little bit extra, and also as a thank you for helping me out. So he did sell this to me at cost, the exact same price as what it goes for at retail. So he didn't sell it to me to make a profit or anything like that at all. He really did the cool thing. He sold it to me at the price that it was going for initially, for retail price. But I did throw him some extra change just as a way of saying thank you for, you know, being so cool about it. And hopefully it'll help him, you know, just sort of, you know, help him out with what's about to happen in his life. Something very good. So I thought I'd throw him a few extra quid. So thank you so much, Luke, for this, mate. You've really done me a favour. I'm so chuffed with it. Yeah, just really happy, because it was. I know that there are going to be. That's what Nintendo says. They're going to release more, as well as they also plan to re-release the NES Mini as well. So hopefully I can get that for a regular price and not for the silly inflated prices it goes for now. But I'm really chuffed to get the Super Nintendo. This one definitely meant a lot more to me, just because I'm such a big fan of the 16-bit era. I never owned the Super Nintendo as a kid. Obviously, most of you know that I have a Super Nintendo. I've got games for it as well. But you know, just to have something that I can just sort of plug in and play. This is probably going to go more specifically in my living room, where I don't have any systems hooked up, so that my friends can sort of jump in and play every now and again when they feel like it. Yes, I will be hacking the system as well, because as much as I enjoy the games that are on here, it's missing out some gems, and that needs to be rectified. So I will definitely be adding some games here. In case you're wondering, it's mostly going to be side-scrolling beat-em-ups, because the fact that this has no Final Fight games in it is a crime. I was a little bit pissed off by that. This is one thing I'll say is that I'm not gonna mention the lineup here. You guys all know the lineup, but you know, it's sort of very RPG heavy, and while a lot of the games here, you know, I won't argue, you know, they definitely represent the Super Nintendo, but it is a little bit one-sided in my opinion. I mean, I still feel that games like Final Fight series, you know, a few other side-scrolling beat-em-ups, as well as, you know, other games like I definitely feel that Sunset Riders should have been on here. That could have easily have come on here, because, you know, it's not a licensed game. I understand why games like Turtles in Time and Batman Returns and the Super Star Wars series. I completely understand why those games are not on here. They're licensed games. You know, to get them on here would basically be a lot more expensive and whatnot. I understand all of that. But other titles like Gargoyle's Quest, Dracula X, just a little bit of those titles that for me also represent the Super Nintendo just as much as any of these games, I feel need to be on here. So yeah, I will definitely be making some additions to the system. But in any case, thank you so much, Luke, for this. Really, really chuffed with it. Really, really pleased. You did me a massive favour. By the way, guys, definitely check out 16-Bit Luke. He hasn't done videos lately, but when he does, he comes across really well on screen. He's definitely someone you need to support, guys. And I will be leaving a link to his channel in the description box below. So definitely check him out, guys, if you haven't already. That's 16-Bit Luke. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers for this. Okay, so the next person I need to give a big shout out to, and this is someone all of you have heard of, and that is Pete Onaretrotip. This guy, now this is someone I have met a few times. I'm friends with him. Very, very cool guy. You know, so like he's. If any of you have had the pleasure of meeting Pete, then you know what I'm talking about. Really, really cool YouTuber. Do I need to shout him out? Man's got so many subscribers. You know, my channel's tiny compared to his. But I will definitely leave you a link in the description box below, just in case, you know, you've been living under a rock, you don't know his channel. But in any case, yeah, essentially, a while back, he was selling off an arcade stick, and I sort of mentioned that I was after it, but at the time, he'd already sold it on. So essentially, I missed out on it. But I guess he remembered me, and then he sort of came across another one, and he sort of just gave me a call and just sort of said, you know, are you still interested in picking up this arcade stick? You know, I'm willing to move on to you if you want it. And you know, obviously described it to me, everything. I was like, yeah, done, solid. He gave me a really good deal on it as well. I was really chuffed to get it. And once I show it to you guys, I'll explain why I wanted it and so forth. But what Pete sold me was the Tatsunoko versus Capcom arcade stick, and I'm very, very chuffed with it. I can show you guys what the stick looks like. Really nice stick. I mean, I don't know if it's brand new. It looks like it's unplayed. It still has the plastic. It's still fully wrapped up. It doesn't look like it's even been used. Really, really chuffed to get this. Now, I was on the fence for a long time whether I wanted to pick this up or not. And the reason why I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up was just because it really is only for just one game for the Wii. But then part of me just started thinking, I said to myself, well, doesn't that in itself make this stick even more special? Because it really is just for one game. A very obscure, well, not obscure, but just one of those games that's really was just a one-off. You know, we've never had a follow-up to Tatsunoko versus Capcom. And I doubt we will ever see a follow-up to Tatsunoko versus Capcom. And I felt that in and of itself, because it really is just that one game, you know, and there was a stick released for it, that it had to be bought, especially for someone like myself who is really into 2D fighters. You know, I just felt like, just to commemorate the fact that there is that one game that, and it's an awesome game, by the way, guys. If you have a Wii, definitely check out Tatsunoko versus Capcom. It's a brilliant fighter. But I said to myself, you know what, just to commemorate that fact, I should get this arcade stick. And I'm really, really happy to get it. And I'm thankful that Pete even thought of me when he got hold of this edition as well, because it's in fantastic condition. So thank you so much, Pete, for this, mate. And as you would expect, he did me a solid deal on it as well, so it was hard to say no. So thank you so much, Pete, man. So like I say, definitely check out Pete as well as Luke's channel. I will leave them both in the description box below. Definitely check them out, guys. Really, really cool guys, trustworthy guys as well. If you ever have dealings with them, don't worry, they'll definitely sort you out. They're very good guys. So thank you so much, Pete. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so after those two fantastic additions, I've got a bunch of games, And actually, wait, no, before I get into the games, I actually do have one more system here. Now, this is something that when they announced it, I had no idea it was coming out. Actually, I actually stumbled upon this. I'd not heard anything about it, and when I stumbled it, I actually had a different version of this system on pre-order. And then the moment I found out this was coming out, at first I was gonna just order both of them, but of course, you know, money, I can't go too crazy spending my money, so eventually I had to cancel one of them. So the other variant went, and I opted for this version, and ultimately I'm much happier for it. This is definitely the version that I wanted over the other one. And what I wound up getting was the new 3DS XL Super Nintendo Edition. And I'm really chuffed to get this. Now, I already have a 3DS, I already have a new... In fact, this is actually my third handheld. But the one I have at the moment, that will still remain as my current 3DS system. I love it to death. I've got tons of stuff on it already. And I'm happy just having that system as the one that I use. So this really is more of a collector's piece. But at saying that, it is going to get used. It will be just my spare system. But I'm really chuffed to get it. It looks fantastic. In fact, I'll take it out for you guys so you can see. I wasn't going to take it out originally. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it in. But I figured, just so you guys can take a good look at it, or better look at it, it would make more sense. So just give me a second. Okay, so here it is, guys. Really, really nice system. I'll show you the back of it. This looks fantastic. I'll open it up. Such a nice looking system. I just the interior is what really sold me on it. Beautiful looking system. So yeah, so essentially what it was, I actually had the Metroid edition pre-ordered because I love Metroid. I'm a big fan of Metroid. So I had the Metroid version on pre-order, but after I was looking at it, and I was actually quite disappointed that the interior of the Metroid edition was just all in black. There was no distinctive colouring on it or nothing. And the outward design was, you know, it was alright, it was nice, but so I wasn't too crazy over it. But I felt, you know, as a collector's piece, you know, I felt it was worth getting. So that was originally what I was going to get, but after I saw this one, you know, it was no contest really. Like I said, I toyed with getting both, but I thought it was too expensive to just jump in and get both of them. So ultimately I'm really happy getting this Super Nintendo version. As you guys will know, I'm a huge fan of the 3DS. I think it's a brilliant system. The games I have for it are amazing. It doesn't have a lot of games, just compared to other libraries. Like, it doesn't compare to, like, say, the DS or the Game Boy in terms of size of the library, but the games that are on it are fantastic. Some great games on there. Maybe a bit one-sided. It doesn't have the best in terms of variety of games compared to previous Nintendo handhelds, but it's definitely, I think in some ways I prefer the fact that it has a smaller library. It allows me to just focus on these games and not go too crazy just building up a massive library of stuff. I kind of think that it works for me. So yeah, so this is a lovely addition to have. Really chuffed to get it. So yeah, another great addition to have. Okay, so now we can move on to the games. Now, sticking with 3DS, I was really chuffed to get this. Now, I actually missed out on the pre-order of this. I did have to resort to eBay to get this, so I was a little bit annoyed. But if I didn't get it, I'd be so pissed off with myself, because just the stuff that it comes with this, I really wanted. So yeah, ultimately what I got was Metroid Samus Returns, the Legacy Edition. And what this comes with, aside from the game, it comes with an art book, it comes with a CD soundtrack, as well as a keychain, a pin, but also probably the main selling point for me was that it comes with a steelbook case that actually resembles the Game Boy cartridge, and I thought that looked really nice. So I'll show you the back here. See the stuff that it comes with. I was going to do an unboxing originally, but actually another YouTuber who goes by the name of 16-Bit Brit, Adam, he did a really good unboxing of this edition. So what I will do instead is I will leave a link to his channel, to his video. Check it out, guys. He's another fantastic channel, by the way. Yeah, he did an excellent unboxing of this. So just check out his channel. You can see the stuff that came with this edition. But like I say, as a Metroid fan, I definitely had to get the ultimate version of Metroid. The standard edition wasn't going to work for me. So yeah, really tough to finally get my hands on this. And I definitely look forward to playing it. I'm still currently playing Fire Emblem. I'm actually at the moment, I'm right in the thick of playing Fire Emblem Conquest. So I haven't been able to touch this yet, but as soon as I'm finished with Fire Emblem, although I'll probably jump onto Revelations after I'm done with Conquest, but once I'm essentially done with Fire Emblem Fates, this will be my next 3DS game. So yeah, looking forward to playing this as and when I get around to it. Okay, next couple of games here. These are some PlayStation 2 games. Now, PlayStation 2, aside from the imports that I mentioned earlier, in terms of PAL stuff, I haven't picked up any PlayStation 2 games. There's nothing really I want. If you've seen my PS2 collection videos, you know I've got the games I want. But there was one title that I was after. I didn't want to go out of my way to get, but if I saw it out and about, I definitely would want to pick it up. I saw it at CEX, so I do really want to play this game. I don't know why. I've just got a thing about wanting to play this game. I just want to check it out. It just looks really interesting to me, and that is Dragon's Lair Special Edition. Definitely wanted to check this game out. It's basically like a brand new version of the old Dragon's Lair title, and it looked alright to me. It's a third-person sort of platformer game, but I really liked the sort of the cel-shaded cartoony look to it, and the original art style of the original game has always appealed to me. So I definitely wanted to check this one out. I've got no idea if it's any good or not, but you know, for £5 at CEX, I wasn't going to pass it up. So yeah, I picked that up. And the next PS2 game here, I actually picked it up at a charity shop. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't say no to it, just because this is a game I actually do already own. But what made me want to pick it up wasn't just because I wanted to buy it, because A, it's actually a very good game, B, it's semi-sought after, and C, the version I've got has got an issue with it that kind of bugged me, so I thought I might replace bits and bobs sort of to make my ideal copy of. So what I picked up at the charity shop for just £2 was Evil Dead Regeneration. And I've actually played this game. I do own this game already. It's a fantastic game. It's actually, in my opinion, this is definitely the best game that's based on the Evil Dead license. In my opinion, this is Evil Dead 4. This definitely follows up from the movies, and it's a brilliant game. So definitely, sorry about the glare, guys. I've got this light here, so I'm just trying to, it's really annoying. But if I don't have the light at the back, this room is just too dark. So, because it's not really sunny outside. So anyway, yeah, really chuffed to get this. I will probably cobble together out of my 2 copies a sort of perfect copy. But yeah, really nice to see, especially at a charity shop for just £2. This goes for a good price on eBay. It's not super expensive. I've seen it go for as little as £10. It's anywhere between sort of £10 to £20 in price. It's a really fun game. Plays really well. Definitely a gem on the PS2 in my opinion. So there's two Evil Dead games on on PlayStation 2. This is the best one. So this is Evil Dead Regeneration. So yeah, chuffed to get that. Okay, next game I've got, and this is a Game Boy Advance game. Just one Game Boy Advance game. It's boxed and complete. Really chuffed to get it, although I would have preferred the PAL version of this game, but the PAL one, I just don't see it anywhere. I saw it years ago, and I just don't see it anymore, but I was able to grab a US copy. It was brand new and sealed, and the game I got is Klonoa 2, Dream Champ Tournament. Essentially, the Game Boy Advance games are 2D platformers, and the first game is really good. It's a really nice game. It's definitely, it still has the charm of the Klonoa series. I know that the original Klonoa games are 2.5 games. This is a straight up 2D game, but it plays so well. It's really nice, really charming, and it's just a lovely addition to the Game Boy Advance set. So yeah, chuffed to get that. Okay, next games I've got here are for the PlayStation 4. You've got a nice little stack here of games, to be honest. Yeah, some really cool titles here. So, first game I got, this is definitely one I had to pick up. You guys all know I'm a fan of this series, and that was Uncharted Lost Legacy. Yeah, loved it, played it, completed it. There were aspects of this game that... at first I was like, I'm not liking this. Just more of the fact it felt like it was treading water, like the levels were a bit uninspiring. But then I got up to a point, and once I passed that point, the game really took off for me. So I was much more pleased with it. But ultimately, this is a very good game. It's definitely worth it. It's more than just an added mission. Some people refer to this as like a special mission. What do they call it? What do they call it? Added DLC. But it's more than that. It is a complete game. I mean, this will take you anywhere between 8 to 10 hours. It took me 10 hours to complete this game, but that's because I actually did the. There's a part of the game that's pretty open-ended, and you sort of have to find different relics, but it's optional. Like, you can actually skip through all of that, but I didn't. I actually went out of my way to find all the relics, and so it took me 10 hours to play this game. So it's about the length of a standard standard title. It's not as long as Uncharted 4, obviously, but I felt it was very good, and I definitely enjoyed playing as Chloe as opposed to Nathan Drake. I've always enjoyed her character. I've always liked her character since Uncharted 2, and it was good to sort of get to know her a bit more. There was a bit in the game that kind of annoyed me a little bit as well in terms of the dialogue. Like, I'm one of those people that I very much I enjoy seeing strong female characters in media, like whether it be games or films or whatever. But what I really don't like is when they pander to the social justice kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, we're strong women. I don't like that. I like strong women. I like strong women in films and TV, but I don't like the fact they feel the need to tell us that they're strong women. It kind of feels, it kind of cheapens it, in my opinion. And there was a couple of lines of dialogue where Chloe and Nadine are just sort of moving around, and they were just sort of like, they had to reference the fact that they were strong, independent women, and I was like, oh, come on. You don't need to tell me that. I see it. I'm playing the game. They are strong, independent women. You don't need to tell me that they're strong, independent women. That's just really pissed me off. I don't know. Like, I hate stuff like that. Like, I like it when it's just, just show those characters. Don't have to pander to that sort of demographic of like, yay, we're strong, independent. Just don't do that. Just you're showing it to me already. Like, that's what I want. I won't. That's another issue entirely. But in any case, I did very much enjoy this game, and I highly recommend it, guys. So definitely check it out. Next game I picked up, and that is the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Now this has Mega Man 7, 8, 9 and 10, which are basically the two 32-bit titles, or the 16-bit and 32-bit games of Mega Man 7 and 8. And it also has Mega Man 9 and 10. And what made this such a must-have is because this is the first time that a physical release of Mega Man 9 and 10 has ever come out. So I definitely had to get this. I've never played Mega Man 9 and 10. They were originally downloadable games only. They were digital games. They were like done in the old school Mega Man style, but they were actually made in the 2010s. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out. And it's a budget title, so it's not expensive. Definitely worth checking out. Next game I picked up here, and this is definitely one I had to pick up because I was a fan of the original, and that's Gravity Rush 2. Haven't a chance to play it yet as it's still sealed. Really enjoyed the original Gravity Rush on PlayStation 4. I know it came out on the Vita originally, but and this was actually a game that when I toyed with the idea of getting a Vita, it was definitely one of the games that I wanted to get. But ultimately, it came out on PlayStation 4, and I got it for that. And it was a brilliant game. Definitely worth checking out, guys. Definitely check out Gravity Rush. It's a gem. It plays really well. It's very original, and it's just a really nice game. So just chuffed to finally get the sequel. Next game I picked up, and that was the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Now, I actually never grew up with the Crash Bandicoot games. I did play the demo back in the day, but I never owned any of the games. I do own them for the PlayStation 1 now, but I never owned them back in the day. So I've got really no nostalgia for them. During the 32-bit era, I was actually not into platformers. I kind of, after the 16-bit era, I kind of sort of got turned off by them. Just wasn't really into them. More so the 3D ones. I did get Rayman. Rayman was a really cool 2D platformer, but that was, for me, that was like a one and done. But ultimately, when the shift went to 3D, I just sort of lost interest in platformers. And what really grabbed me during the 32-bit era was the age of the cinematic game. You know, the games like Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil, Dino Crisis. Those sort of games were the ones that really sort of captured my imagination during that time. But platformers fell by the wayside, and I feel like I missed out, because going back and playing the Crash series, you know, like I've played it in bits, but I've never really put any real time into them. And I started playing the first Crash game. It's really hard, by the way. It really is. Like it's more about level memorization, because you really can't. Like, I'd be amazed if you could get through some of these levels like straight off the bat, you know, first time, because so many things are thrown at you that you really have to just memorize the dangers and then avoid them the next go around. That's really how it plays. And I suppose that's how the old school games of the 16-bit and 8-bit games were played. It was really about trial and error. You know, you memorize it, you come across an obstacle, it kills you, you try again, and then you get past it because you've learned the level. So yeah, it's definitely been fun. But like I say, I'm still sort of playing through the first game in the series, so I obviously haven't tried the second or the third yet. But it's definitely one title I'm glad to get, as yeah, just I'm more open to games now as I was back then, so I definitely want to be able to check out these titles now. Next game I picked up, and that was The Walking Dead A New Frontier. Now, I've actually got a bit of a complaint about this, and it's more of a complaint towards Telltale than the game itself. Now, the game in and of itself is great, I enjoyed it, but I really don't like what Telltale is doing now with their physical releases. Essentially, as opposed to, instead of releasing the complete game on the disc, what they do now is the disc now just becomes a season pass, a key, a digital key. So you just get like one mission on the disc itself, and then when you insert the disc into your system, you have to actually go onto PlayStation Network and download the rest of them, which I don't like. I hate what they're doing. And I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm enjoying the Walking Dead games, I'd probably stop buying Telltale games. Like I've had no inclination to buy the Batman games or the Guardians of the Galaxy games and stuff like that, because they're all like that. They're all like season passes and stuff, and I just don't like it. That just really turned me off. And this is the first of the Walking Dead games that is like that. But because I'm already invested in this series, I'm willing to follow it. But ultimately, yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that, like I say, I'm enjoying this series, I would stop buying Telltale games, because that just doesn't work for me. Also, another issue I have now, Telltale for this game in particular, they seem to have reworked the graphics. It seems to have a new engine, but it's still buggy. Like, I don't get why these games are buggy. Like, I think there are like 5 missions, and I think I got to like mission 4, and there were so many glitches and things happening. Like, there was just animations going out of whack and stuff, or the screen would just get funny in the middle of a cutscene, and it was just really annoying. And I just don't get it on such a powerful system. Why is it so difficult to make games for it? Like, why Telltale seems to be struggling in making a game that has cutscenes that glitch out so much. I just don't understand. It's not like the PlayStation 4 can't play this. I mean, the PlayStation 3 can run this. So like, why is it so difficult for them to not be able to really test these games and make sure that they remove these annoying bugs? I mean, fortunately, I was able to play the game and get through it, but it's really poor from Telltale. I mean, they've lost my support for the most part. I mean, I'll continue buying these games, but really, I kind of don't want to. You know, part of me doesn't want to buy them. And I mean, this came out ages ago. I took a really long time before I bought this. It's just more so because I was curious about the story. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Telltale, sort it out, man. Come on, you know, you're better than that. Alright, last game on the PlayStation 4, and quite chuffed to get this actually, and that is Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. Now, this is actually the limited run version. I was lucky to get this. I actually bought this while I was at a wedding, because it comes online. It came on at like 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, and on that day I was off. I was actually at a wedding, at a friend's wedding. And the wedding itself just started at 3 p.m. So as the wedding was just about to start, I was there on my phone, clicking buy, like trying to buy it. And I was so lucky I was able to nab a copy. I've never played the Wonder Boy series before. I never played the Master System game before. But when I saw the visuals of this game, the 2D look of this game, I just had to have it. And yeah, upon playing it though, like it's a bit basic for my liking. I know essentially all it is they just on a surface level remastered it, so like visually it just basically got a lick of paint, but it's essentially the same classic game from the Master System. And what's really cool about it is that you just press one button and it actually goes back to the old Master System graphics. But I think that's a neat feature, and it's great. I also feel that the game itself is maybe a bit too old school for a modern system. I don't know. But it looks fantastic, and I definitely will be putting some hours into it. But it's a very basic game. It's sort of hard to go back to, especially if you were never a fan of if you never played the Wonder Boy titles. If you're just coming into this for the first time, you might find it a little bit too old school. But I will definitely appreciate it from an aesthetic level. But I'm not going to lie, I do find it hard to get into from a gameplay standpoint, just because it's a little bit too old school, and I don't have the nostalgia attached to it either. But I'm still happy to get it. Yeah, really chuffed to get it in any case, because it's just a nice addition to have. Alright guys, so the last bunch of games I've got here, and these are for the GameCube. Now, I've actually been buying a few GameCube titles. Not really going for like a massive collection of GameCube games, but I have a Wii and I sort of play it through the Wii. So I thought to myself, you know, I want to try and get a few Cube exclusives that I think are worth getting. So I've been on the hunt for the odd game here and there. So I've got a little pile here, and the first game I've got here is Waverace Blue Storm. Now, I actually had a game. I had this game already, but it wasn't in great condition, so I thought I'd pick this one up. I actually won this on auction. Oh, my back. Sorry, my back's hurting a little bit. So anyway, yeah, so I bought this game. I bought it very cheap. I think it was like a couple of quid, maybe £2 or £3. I thought it was worth getting. So I've always wanted to play the Waverace titles, so I thought it was definitely a nice addition to have. Next game I picked up, and this is one this game has fascinated me, just because it's pretty much considered the black sheep in the family. But I've always wanted to try it out, and I think because it's considered the black sheep of the family, for me it kind of makes it a little bit extra special. And that game was Super Mario Sunshine. Again, I won it on auction, got it for a really nice deal. It's lovely, it's in mint condition. I've played a little bit as well, and it's actually quite fun. I do enjoy it. I know a lot of people seem to slate this game. I guess because it very much follows that Super Mario 2 ideology, where it's quite a different beast compared to traditional Super Mario games. But I think it looks quite cool, and I'm looking forward to putting some time into it. I've already started it, and it definitely looks like a fun game, so I was really chuffed to get that. And the next title I got here, this was definitely one I toyed with getting. I wound up putting a bid in at auction, and I ended up winning it for a good price as well. And that was the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. And this basically has the two NES games, as well as Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. But I do actually have a technical question about this game. I wonder if any of you guys can help me. Essentially, I run this on the Wii via component cable, and my TV is capable of running at 60 Hz. But for whatever reason, the two NES titles, when I boot them up, they black out. I can still hear it, but I can't play the game. But Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask play just fine. It does say for the two NES games they need to run at 60 Hz, but my TV runs at 60 Hz, so I don't know what's going on with that. If anybody could help me with regards to this, any info at all, it'd be very much appreciated. So, but in any case, it's just nice to have. I won it for, I think I got this for about £22. So, it was a decent price, especially to get, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. It's just nice to have, so chuffed to get that. And finally, here's one title that I've been meaning to get. Now, this is, again, in the past, this was a title that was highly sought after, highly regarded. But because it's since been remastered, I guess the need for the title has dwindled a little bit. But I still wanted it on the Cube, and I was really chuffed to get it because I got it for below the going rate. And that was the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This is definitely, of all the Zelda titles, this is definitely the one that sort of piqued my interest the most. So I was really chuffed to get it. Actually, I won it on auction, and I did get it for below the going rate, and it's in mint condition. So I was really chuffed to get it. It's fully complete. Really chuffed to get this. It's definitely another gem in my collection, so yeah, just chuffed to get that. So that's it, guys. That's basically been all the pickups from the last few months. It's been about 3 months worth of pickups. Now, I still have more games to show you guys, but this is now going to go into imports, so I'm going to save that for another video. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, let me know what you guys think. Is there any games there that you liked? Also, with regards to the GameCube, do you think there are any games that I should check out? I've been looking at some titles for the Cube, some exclusive titles. I'm not interested in multi-platform games, just mainly GameCube exclusives. There are a couple I've got my eyes on, but I'm not too sure. So if you've got any recommendations, guys, please drop them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And of course, it was great to be back. It's been a while. I'm a little bit out of practice, guys, so you know, just bear with me. But in any case, guys, I will be back next time with another video. So until then, bye bye.